just trying to sort of move forward with my life. My plan was, probably repeating myself, to come home and sort things out. With the way I was in college, I was burnt out by the time I graduated. I was completely burnt out. I couldn't move forward in terms of grieving, in terms of in terms of just coming to terms with myself. Um, I and I'm still struggling with that quite a bit. Um, it's the first holiday since Dad died that I've been home and getting ready for the holidays. Usually, I just used to come home and everything would be set up and everything would be ready, and I just had to worry about, maybe baking a couple of batches of cookies and maybe running some errands and um, but now it's legitimate holiday prep and it's stuff that Dad loved to do and Dad should be here to do, and he's not, and it's very, very difficult. I'm having a very hard time right now, and I feel like there's going to be quite a bit of musing here, and I hope I don't take up the rest of the time with this, even though I likely will. This is at least my personal experience. It's different for everybody, so this is just one isolated case. But in my experience, it's always different when you're sort of on the outside of that grief because, I mean, and I know I've done this to friends who have had losses in their family and everything. After, 4 years or so, it seems like a long time to you since their significant other, like their parent, their brother, there's someone special passed on since the passing of someone special to them. And it seems like a long time to you because you're on the outside and you sort of be like, you should be over this by now, like get over yourself. I've done that before and I very much regret it because being on the inside is a lot different because 4 years feels like the longest amount of time. I don't remember what my father sounds like anymore. Some days it's very hard for me to remember his face. That's why I'm glad I have pictures. If my eyes are like half lidded, it's because I was crying earlier. I was kind of in a bad spot, so I was just crying. It's very therapeutic. Gives me a headache, but it's very therapeutic. So if my eyes are half lidded, I promise I'm not like, oh man, we're all just one big part of life. I'm just, my eyes are probably heavy from lack of sleep and from crying. Um, but um, 4 years feels like a very, very long time. But at the same time, I feel like it was only, 6 hours ago that my mother came into my room and said, go downstairs, turn off the alarm, and unlock the doors. Your dad's not breathing. And I called 911. Um, and that was the most hellish night of my life. Um, I'm not a terribly religious person. That's not to say I don't believe in religion or anything. That's not the case. I have my own personal set of beliefs that are sort of a hodgepodge of a lot of different religious beliefs, but I was praying to anything out there, anyone or anything, that this was just a bad dream, that he would be okay, and that I was in a dream, like that I would wake up. I never woke up. I mean, it is a living nightmare sometimes. Because sometimes even still you can just convince yourself that they've just gone on a trip or they're outside working or they're just upstairs and they'll be back and they're not. And I would give anything in the world, absolutely anything in the entire world, to have 24 more hours with my father and to talk to him one more time and to say everything that needs to be said and to hear everything that he wanted to tell me one day. I didn't, he didn't die with me having unfinished business with him. The last words I ever said to him were, I love you. Um, So there's no regrets there, but it's just wanting them back. It's so selfish, but it's wanting them back. But I sort of sidetracked a little bit. The point being that 4 years seems like a long time when it hasn't happened to you, but when it has happened to you, it's a long time, but at the same time, it's so short and it's so torturous, and you think you're okay, and then sometimes it just hits you in the face like a ton of bricks. And I've lost uncles and I've lost grandparents and I have lost a lot of family members. It's been a string of deaths in my family for quite a while, and it's really scary to me. And unfortunately, my dad was one of them. And um, so there's been a lot of death in my life, unfortunately, and that's made me very afraid. And every time I think that I'm okay, something else comes along to prove me wrong, that I'm not okay, or that, like something comes to knock me down. Um, but, for those of you who don't know, giving up is literally not in my vocabulary. It's just, it's not something that I would ever even consider, just giving up. It's not in, it's just never been an option to me. It's not that it's an option and I choose not to take it. It is literally non-existent. Giving up is non-existent to me. There's no way I can give up. That just seems so pointless. But I got distracted again. Point being, it feels like such a long time, but it also feels like yesterday. And sometimes I sit there and I go, why the fuck am I not over this? Why can't I move on? Why can't I be the kind of person that he would be proud of? Someone just signed in. Sorry about that. Why can't I be the kind of person he would be proud of? But the truth is it just takes time, and that's what I tell all my friends, and it's the worst fucking thing in the world to say, but it's better than saying nothing, and it's better than pretending that you know exactly what's going on, because both of those, I've been on both ends, they're both awful. People not knowing what to say is almost just as bad as people who pretend they know exactly what's going on. And both are meant in acts of kindness. They are. It's one of those, the road to hell is paved with good intentions kind of thing. You want them to feel better. You want to give them some kind of comfort. It's a lose for everybody. During grief, it's just a loss. It's a giant loss for everyone. Even if you never knew the person who died, if you know the person who's grieving, it's a loss because they've lost a part of themselves and they are counting on you. If they come to you with all of these things, they're reaching out for help. And sometimes all they want is acknowledgement that they're doing good. Sometimes they need that reassurance, and that's really what I'm struggling with right now. And it's not to say that, like I don't have loving, support, because I absolutely do. I have so many friends that are willing to listen to me. I have a very loving family, as much as I may get frustrated sometimes. That's what family is. Dad used to have a rather crude saying, you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your family. Um, Thanks for that one, old man. But I'm so lucky. I can't find words to describe how lucky I am and how thankful I am to have people in my life that will listen to me and will put up with me. And I'm not, pinning blame on anybody. I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. It's just that sometimes, even despite all that, humans are inherently selfish creatures and we want more. We want reassurance that we're doing okay and that, like we're doing the right thing. And it's very hard for me right now because part of me feels like a giant loser because I'm living at home. I'm not going to grad school. I'm working in retail. You don't need a college education to work in retail, but at the same time, I know that I cannot go into the big real world. I mean, like, I'm living in the real world now, but I can't go into a job that I want to do for the rest of my life with the kind of mental state that I'm in. It will break. It will break some part of my mind, and I'm not willing to take that risk. Not yet. I don't think I'm healthy enough yet. I'm still on my medication. I'm still talking to my therapist. I'm still taking all the necessary steps. Um, but just sort of a PSA, because I know it's not just myself that suffers around the holidays. I know other people have lost friends or family at very significant points, and it doesn't even have to be around the holidays. But the holidays has always been something special to me. I know quite a few people who don't really care for the holidays, and that's okay. It is, but the holidays have always been something very sacred, especially on my father's side of the family. Um, Christmas was always something magical, and it's still magical. I think I'm determined not to let that be taken away from me, despite what happened, because my dad loved Christmas with everything he had. What made Christmas so magical was his love for it, and he passed that on to me. I love Christmas, and I want to make that magical for other people too, and hopefully for one day my own family. Um, but Christmas is a time, despite, all the commercial shit that goes on, it is a time for magic, and it's a time for love, and really realizing who's there at your side. So I guess this whole vlog entry is a very roundabout way of me saying thank you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to all of my friends. It doesn't matter where you live, how close you and I are, how much we've spoken, in the past or recently, or if I'm going to talk to you tomorrow, or if I'm going to go to work and see you. It, to all of my friends and all of my family, I just want to give the biggest thank you from the bottom of my heart. Because although I'm very conflicted and I'm having a very hard time, I know that I am still making progress, and I know my father would be proud of me. I know he would. My old man would be so proud, because I graduated from college and all he wanted was a good education for me, and I got it. And so it's Christmas time, and I extend my heartfelt love and thanks to every single one of you. And please keep that in mind, and extend that to your family as well, your friends and family as well. It's a time for love, and it is a time for giving. And I love all of you who have loved and supported me over the years. Um, and I just thank you so much. And please don't take anything for granted. You never know when it's going to be ripped away from you. And it's human nature to take things for granted. This fucking light. It's human nature to take things for granted. And so, that's okay. But stop and think every once in a while about who you have in your life and who's there for you and who would miss you so, so dearly if you were gone. Um, thank you, all of you, from the bottom of my heart. And I hope all of you have a happy holiday. I don't care what you celebrate. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Or if you don't celebrate at all, if you hate Christmas, that's okay. I still hope you guys love getting your free stuff. There's something in it for everybody. There really is. And I hope you guys have, I just hope you guys have a fantastic holiday and Happy New Year. I don't know when the next time I'll be able to update is. I'm amazed that I even sat down to do this. But I will try to update on this vlog more often. But until then, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Flying Spaghetti Monster Day, whatever you celebrate. Celebrate it with people that you love. Celebrate it well. and remind the people in your life that they are everything to you, because you guys are everything to me. And I wouldn't be the person I am today without all of my friends and all of my family giving me their love and support. And I appreciate that more than I think I can ever say or express. And that's why I just end up repeating myself like an idiot. So happy holidays. Have a great one, you guys. Remember, there's still magic in Christmas or just in the holidays themselves in the new year. There's still magic. You're never old enough to, you're never too old for that magic. Never ever. So, everyone have a fantastic holidays, and hopefully I'll see you guys again soon.